like to promote?
Sure. I'm going to be at the House of Comedy on the 28th of this month.
Alrighty.
Also, I have a YouTube channel and Twitter. It's both at Alex Jaffe Comedy. So that's all I can think of.
YouTube, Twitter, and House of Comedy on the 28th.
Yep.
Tuesday, the 28th of April.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Please welcome to the stage, Alex Jaffe.
Hey, I'm Alex Jaffe. I'm originally from Iowa, or as Minnesotans call it, the South. I've been doing yoga for quite some time now. My ultimate goal is to be able to insert my head into my own colon so I can better understand Republicans. Anybody here have kids? Okay. Well, I don't have kids, but I am an uncle. That means I can return the kid before I grow to resent it. Uncling. All the fun, none of the responsibility. My nephew is a little 4-year-old. His name is George. His parents wanted to go out of town for the weekend, so they had me watch him overnight at their place. So my brother and his wife are just loaded. They have silk sheets and a liquor cabinet that's easy to jimmy open, so, I'm down. And so, first things first, I put the kid to sleep. And then, midnight, I wake up and, there's just a clatter. And naturally, I think that there's a break-in. So, I get up and I take down the shower tension rod and creep downstairs like a real half-assed Donatello. And there's the 4-year-old with all the pots and pans all over the kitchen floor. And because apparently little kids like to rummage through shit. So I say to him, what are you doing? And he just looks up at me and goes, making breakfast. I'm like, it's midnight. And he's looking at me like I'm the crazy one. So, I pick him up and I carry him back upstairs because that's what you do for a kid that age, put him back to sleep. And then I go back to sleep. So then I, open my eyes just briefly just to check what time it is. And there he is, just inches from my face. So I scream. He screams, and then he starts to cry. And here I am just trying to get him to stop. I'm like, come on, buddy, what's wrong? What do you need? And he's like, a glass of water. Fucking water. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm like a hostage negotiator. I'm like, okay, if I give you the water, will you go to sleep and not wake me up until 9? And he's like, when's that? And I'm like, when Mickey Mouse is doing this. So, I give him the water, put him back to sleep, 2 a.m. And, I'm trying to go back to sleep, but I just can't. So I'm going through the last few episodes of The Walking Dead, and I know, no spoilers, but I still can't believe Daryl died. So then I, hearing some pounding and scratching at the bedroom door, and I'm like, oh shit, the zombie apocalypse is actually happening. Oh no, and then I'm going to open up the window to, bail out, and, I just hear this little voice go, I wet the bed. It's 4 in the freaking morning. Now, my mom is out of her freaking mind. Now, I know a lot of people say this sort of stuff, but my mom was raised Roman Catholic. I'm not quite sure if anybody here's, Catholic or knows about the religion too much, but my mom converted to becoming a Jew before she met my dad. So growing up for me was like guilt times 2. And then, my parents got divorced, and then things got really interesting. Back in 6th grade, I'm 27, so back in 6th grade, it was before the internet really took, precedence. So some kid made a comment about jacking off. I had no idea what that meant. So I come back home and I asked my mom what that meant. And her reaction was to scream and run out of the room. My mom would also have a tendency of going through my entire room and completely rearranging it every 2 weeks because she was convinced that I was on drugs or binge drinking or God knows what. But she, never found anything. Until this one day that my brother was pretty angry with me because I cock-blocked him with some girl that he liked. So his idea of revenge was to take some of my mom's beers, drink them, and then when I was out with my friends, throw the empty cans into my room and tell my mom that I was drinking. This did not go over well, because my mom sent me to rehab for 3 weeks. Now, 3 weeks is a long time to plan revenge, and when I got out, my brother thought that we were like even Steven and, far from it. See, at this point, that film American Pie 2 already came out, and in that film, the character Jim glues himself to himself. Now I thought, let's make this happen in real life. So I go into his room when he's not there, and I empty out the contents of this lubricant bottle, and I replace it with Gorilla Glue. Yeah, so unlike the events in the movie, my brother did not go to the hospital, because if he went to the hospital, he would have to explain to my mom what he was doing. So he had to unstuck himself by himself. And that's why you don't fuck with Big Brother. That's my time. I'm Alex Jaffe.